Mark Kaiser, Lindquist Machine. Welcome to Coffee and CEOs.
What we've done is been very intentional about defining what our culture is. It's a sustainable competitive advantage versus a non-sustainable one.
How do you describe your culture? If you're going to tell somebody about what it is, how do you describe it?
So there's a lot of different philosophies on culture out there, and I would say the one that closest aligns with us, not perfectly, but closest, is probably this whole idea of servant leadership. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where we started with that. Is we went out, we kind of looked at what kinds of cultures are out there, which one fits what we think, and we really took the servant leadership piece as kind of the foundation, and I went a little bit further. And
Can I just ask you, did you guys choose that because it matched up with who you were at the time or what you wanted to be?
Where I wanted to be.
Okay.
And we took a little further, and you ever heard John Maxwell? So Maxwell's got his 5 levels of leadership, right? Yep. Which is really, and it's all based on that servant leadership philosophy. And we're a technical company. We love to measure things, and so to be able to have leadership levels that you could measure and have 5 levels and work toward was very attractive to us.
You put a lot of emphasis on that, and it's different than a lot of the manufacturers that I've talked to. I mean, there's always a certain amount of attention paid to culture, but you guys really have it at the forefront since your time there.
Yeah, and we do, and the reason is because leadership starts with culture, all right, and so the challenge we have as manufacturers is we don't have, there's not the labor force, there's not enough people available that have the skill sets that we need, whether it's machining or welding or electromechanical assembly or engineering, that we need to grow our businesses. And so this is a huge challenge that we have. Yeah. But for us, it's even a little harder because not only are we looking for a certain set of technical skills, we're looking for a certain set of cultural skills.
Yeah, the soft skills.
Yeah, or the innovation skills. Right?
Gotcha.
And so what we've done is been very intentional about defining what our culture is. Mm-hmm. Very intentional. So we have it defined. We have the key behaviors with definitions, and then we've built actually behavioral models that would reflect how we're going to live this culture. Yeah. And so, but that's really hard to do. And then we measure it.
So what types of things do you measure?
Behaviors. So, the culture is all about behaviors. So we actually, once a quarter, we have each associate determine how are they doing on a scale of 1 to 10. It's very simple. 1 to 10, how are they doing in exhibiting these cultural behaviors, and how do they feel the organization is doing overall in exhibiting? And that gives us the gap. Now, it's hard because we don't always live those behaviors. We aren't always behaving in the way that we've all agreed that we want to do. And basically what we're saying is, hey, here's the behaviors we want, and I'm now giving everybody permission to hold me accountable to those behaviors. That's really hard to do.
I know a lot of people put that at the bottom of the list when they're looking at what kind of investments they're going to make. Yep. Have you seen the payoff with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a sustainable competitive advantage versus a non-sustainable one. Having a great CNC machine tool that holds really tight precision that costs $500,000, that'll be a competitive advantage for a period of time. Yeah. And then the next guy's going to buy one, right? Yep. And then the price is going to drop in the marketplace. Sure. But if we have a culture that allows us to innovate on a regular and consistent basis, and we can make that investment to do that, and it's expensive, that's sustainable.
But it's an expense that pays off rather than just going out the door. So much of the hit that companies like ours take is, hey, I got to spend money on marketing. Most people view it as an expense, that you got to go out and do this thing, and if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't. We tell our customers that if they do the things that you're doing, they'll spend less on marketing in the end.
Exactly. That's my belief and my justification for making this investment is that if we do this and we do this well, it'll be sustainable, and very few companies are going to want to try to duplicate what we're doing. Yeah. But we're going to spend less money on everything, on all the other pieces of the business, the marketing and the sale, because we'll have such a great point of differentiation. Customers are going to want to come to us, right? That's the whole idea.
Exactly.
Instead of me going to get them, they're going to want to do
your
business
best marketing is word of mouth, if you can get there.